Good afternoon. This is Melinda McClimans with, little technical difficulty there. All right, am I back? Okay, here we go. So this is Melinda McClimans. I'm with the Middle East Study Center at Ohio State University. And this is the Keys to Understanding the Middle East podcast. And I am hosting a very, very important person today. And I'm really excited to have a chance to speak with him again. Professor Rattan Lal is a professor of soil science and the director of the Rattan Center for Carbon Management at The Ohio State University. He is the awardee of world prizes, many world-class prizes on the global level, putting Ohio State on the global level. He won the World Agriculture Prize in 2018. And in 2019, was that when you won the World Soil Prize, Dr. Lau?
2018 also World Soil Prize.
Also, okay.
2019 Japan Prize.
And then in 2019, he won the Japan Prize. And the president of our university went to that ceremony, which was at the Royal Palace in Japan, for his breakthroughs in sustainable soil management and addressing food security and climate change. He also served as Ohio State University's commencement speaker that year in 2019. And the following year in 2020, he won the World Food Prize presented by the United States of America Secretary of Agriculture. He then won the Padma Shri medal. It's a kind of medal of honor from the President of India. Dr. Angela Merkel, the former Chancellor of Germany, recognized him and awarded him the Gulbenkian Prize for Humanity in 2024. And altogether, these prizes and awards came to $1.4 million, which he donated to Ohio State University, and it will continue to make impact here at our university and through the knowledge that will be produced through his center and that will help address food security going forward. Over his career, spanning more than 5 decades and 4 continents, Dr. Lal has promoted innovative soil-saving technologies, benefiting the livelihoods of more than 500 million smallholder farmers, improving food and nutritional security of more than 2 billion people, and saving hundreds of millions of hectares of natural ecosystems. He joins us in this episode to explore how soil management shaped civilizations across time and mainly in the geography of the Middle East, because after all, we are the Middle East Studies Center. And we're very excited to have him and to get his perspective on these questions about this important idea of managing carbon in our soil. So Dr. Lal, what's the relationship between soil health, crop nutritional density, and delivering soil nutrition in the modern time compared to historical times?
First of all, let me thank you for your invitation and for your very kind introduction. I greatly appreciate this opportunity. In the Islamic Golden Age, I'll begin with that. There was Ibn al-Awam, and he was a more philosopher, and he wrote the first ever book in Arabic, and the book was called Kitab al-Falaha. Kitab in Arabic is book, al-Falaha, book on agriculture. And that was eventually translated into Spanish and French and many languages. And that became part of the contribution of Islamic world to agriculture and its reformation. Going back, because the question is what the relationship between soil health and nutritional density and human health. These days, we are in an era where we promote one health concept. And one health concept states that the health of soil, plants, animal, people, and environment is one and indivisible. They are related. So if the health of soil goes down, health of all living things dependent on it goes down. This concept came much later than book by Islamic writer Ibn al-Awam. This came from a British who was a chief head president of the India Science Academy in 1918. And he wrote a book called Agriculture Testament. He was based on a city called Indore, and that's where he noticed that if the farmer's soil was healthy, their productivity was good, their nutrition was good, their health was good. When soil health was poor and degraded, people living on it were poor, and their health was not very good. And therefore, his presidential address to Indian Science Academy in 1918 was health of soil, plants, animal, and people is one and indivisible. And this is what the most modern concept is. It's not as modern as Kitab al-Falah, but going back to from Islamic world to Vedic culture, and
Mhm.
Vedic culture was about 5,000, between 5,000 and 2500 BC. Then it vanished like many Middle Eastern civilization. It was contemporary of the Middle Eastern civilization. And their language was Sanskrit. And in one of their scripture in Sanskrit, and I'll speak that in Sanskrit and then translate it, that scripture says, and there's no author, those
Uh-huh.
scripture was
Okay.
written, it says, Kshiti Jal Pavak Gagan Samira. Kshiti is soil, Jal is water, Pavak is energy, Gagan is
Mhm.
Samira is wind. Why?
Okay.
Arabic word is similar, Samira, Samir. Panch Tattva, these five elements are
Mhm.
Adam Sharira. The word Adam in Sanskrit the same, in Hebrew
Oh, like the first man?
human, yeah, person.
Oh, oh.
It's the
Mhm.
same. Human body is made of these five elements.
Mhm.
So you see the link between what was in Vedic culture and what say Chinese culture. I have no idea, but I'm sure they have something like this.
Mhm.
So that is the history of how this idea of health of soil, plants, animal, and people go down. Indus Valley civilization, from which I gave you this citation, we know that it vanished because of the area northwestern India where the civilization was based, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. It was a rainforest, and
Mhm.
the rainfall was about 900 to 1,000 millimeter. On a period of 1 or 2 centuries, it decreased to 300 millimeter, which is even
Wow.
so. Consequently, the rainforest got replaced by sand dunes, and the civilization vanished, and their villages and towns, which got preserved under the sand, were discovered in earlier 20th century, 1920, 1930, by a British explorer who happened to dig a whole township where they found uh, brick laned roads, streets, and fired brick buildings and structures still intact. So it is that civilization who had written that idea
Mm.
that our human body is made of, but somehow they did not follow it, either naturally
Mhm.
or whatever. So they vanished, and that vanishment also came to Mesopotamia and Middle East region, and eventually, more recently, to Inca and Maya and Aztec.
Mm.
And
Like
so,
they
yeah,
experienced desertification?
their their
Oh.
their soils, which are sloping lands, uh,
Mhm.
soil erosion was very serious problem, and the soil could not be replaced. So the big city they had developed could not be fed because their soil were degraded. So all these civilization, which were so mighty and so strong and so well developed, vanished because the soil
Wow.
got degraded.
That's sobering to think about.
It is very sobering because their population at that time was very small, very,
Hmm.
very small, a few 100,000 in very large cities. And now we are 8.2 billion people.
Yeah.
Our soil
Wow.
resources are limited, and at present, the rough estimate is that 40% of all land of planet Earth is degraded already.
Yeah.
And by 2050, the amount of degraded land quantity may increase to 50%. So humans have to learn from the history,
Hmm.
make sure that we respect soil and we protect, restore, and sustainably manage it because our future
Yeah.
depends on it.
Yeah. That's a that's a profound lesson from history that puts our current civilization into a sharp perspective.
Yeah, yeah. And now, one other part, human health part. Why is soil health and human health? Uh,
Hmm.
17 micronutrients, like iron, zinc, molybdenum,
Hmm.
17 of them, which are essential for human. And they come from plants that we use as food, and plants get from soil where the roots get it from the soil. So if the
Hmm.
soil is devoid of those micronutrients, which in
Hmm.
many cases developing countries where the farmers cannot afford to put manure back and fertilizer back another,
Hmm.
so their soils are depleted of the micronutrients. Therefore, food they consume from plants and animal is also depleted. Therefore, their diet is depleted and
Yeah.
their health is very seriously affected.
So all of our food is affected whether we're vegetarian or not.
All of them
It's
are.
yeah.
So, only 700,000 or approximately 1 billion people, but a recent number is about 730,000, are uh, not having enough food. They suffer from hidden hunger. Compared to that, more than 2 billion people, that's 1 in 4, will
Hmm.
suffer from deficiency of micronutrients and protein. And that's called malnourishment. So,
Hmm.
nourishment versus malnourishment. So, malnourishment, very serious problem for children under 5, for nursing mothers, for
Hmm.
generation, and it means we have to pay attention to soil health.
Yes. Yeah. Both for producing food and for producing the nutrients in soil that makes it support our bodies completely and not, like you said, that's a very interesting concept to me. Hidden hunger.
That's hidden hunger,
Hidden hunger.
which means they're getting enough calories but not enough nutrients. And part of that goes back to Green Revolution of the 1960s.
Hmm.
1960, there was a serious problem of food shortage, especially in Asia, India. There were many books written who will feed India, and India is a forgotten case. Uh, but then came the Green Revolution, and we almost quadrupled the production of wheat and rice over a period of a decade or so. But the Green Revolution focused on 3 cereals, and they are rice,
Hmm.
corn, and wheat.
Hmm.
Did not consider pulses in Middle East,
Hmm.
South Asia, pulses, chickpea, mung bean, urdu bean, pigeon pea, which
Hmm.
are of protein, which are source of macronutrient. It did not consider millets and sorghum, which are very
Mm.
important for Middle East and for other dry region of the world. And therefore, nutritional quality of the food went down. And although people weren't getting enough to eat, it was not nutritionally dense food.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And in fact, there is a saying now called dilution effect. So if the wheat yield went up from 1 ton to 4 ton, the nutritional quality of the grains got diluted.
Oh, wow. So not only are those grains not as not as complete nutritionally, the the nutritional quality of the soil also depleted them. Or am I making an assumption?
This is correct that
Okay.
because the soils were depleted, so the nutritional quality of the crop was poor. Over and above that, when the yield increase happened, there was a
Mhm.
dilution effect.
Okay.
And so the modern green revolution, if the term is still appropriate,
Uh-huh.
should be nutrition sensitive agriculture.
Oh, I like that term. Nutrition
Yeah.
sensitive
And
agriculture.
yeah, food food must be rich in nutrition. So
Mhm.
I normally say our modern revolution is not to produce more. In fact, we already produce enough to feed 10 billion people.
Mm.
But we must produce high quality food and safe food. This is very
Yeah.
high quality mean nutritional dense, micronutrients, protein, vitamin, many other things it should have. And safe because the green revolution is based on chemicals,
Oh,
fertilizer,
okay.
pesticides, and food can be contaminated from those chemicals.
Yeah.
Now,
I can imagine.
pesticide, especially vegetables, tomatoes,
Hmm.
you spray the large plantation, spray every week or every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, what the residue on those food obviously eventually get in the food chain, and people swallow, consume a lot of those pesticides. So we need in a modern agriculture not high quantity of food, which is okay, but I'll come back why we don't need high quantity. Um, but the food must be nutritionally rich and it must be safe.
Hmm.
That should be the
That
focus.
makes sense. Yeah, that
And
should definitely be the focus.
the traditional forgotten crops um, of the Middle East and South Asia and Central America and South America, chickpea, mung bean, urdu bean, pigeon pea, fava bean, um,
Hmm.
other crops such as sorghum, millet, pigeon peas. Uh, they those forgotten crops are called orphan crops. They are more rich in nutrients. Millets, especially millets.
Hmm. Oh, wow.
That's why
Okay.
year 2021, I think, you
Hmm.
check it on the literature, was declared United Nations Year of the Millets
Oh.
to focus on millets as a source of healthy, nutritious food. So at the present, when people in villages, including the place where I grew up, in winter we only ate millets and wheat, not wheat, and millets and corn and sorghum. Wheat came to after harvest in April. So April through about October, November, it was wheat and rice. But from November through next April, it was always sorghum, millet, um, other crops which were more nutrient rich. They were not as common like wheat bread is, but they
Hmm.
are very nutritionally dense crop. All those crops are gone because the
Mm.
focus of green revolution has been on rice, wheat, and corn, sorghum, millet,
Right.
and they're all
So
gone.
it's a whole system. So if you increase one part of it, you
Wow.
it requires other parts to
Wow.
shrink in a way.
The land was taken away under those cereals, which
Mm-mm.
the world in Africa, take the case of Africa, until, I got there in 69. In 69, nobody was eating rice.
Hmm.
Little. Primarily foreigners were eating rice and wheat bread. The native food was yam, cassava, taro, um,
Mm-hmm.
pigeon peas. Pigeon peas are very common. Sorghum, millet.
Mm-hmm.
Then came European influence. I see your question whether European did something. As
Mm-hmm.
European influence increased, their traditional crops are forgotten, and they started eating rice and wheat and
Mm-hmm.
other, which they could not grow. Not as much.
Mm-hmm.
Their climate is suited for root crops, not for wheat, uh,
Mm.
not for soybean, but for pigeon pea and chickpeas. So this transformation of African from their native food to rice and wheat led
Mm-hmm.
to the problem of food deficiency and food insecurity
Yeah.
and poor health. If they
So,
were to focus on their traditional crops,
yeah.
yam, cassava, sweet potato, taro, pigeon peas, sorghum, millet, there should be
Was
no.
it was it because Europeans actually planted those crops there, or they just
No, I
influenced?
think they were, uh, most of this food was being imported. Rice and wheat were being imported. It
Oh,
became,
okay.
it became in a way, uh, you don't grow this food. We can import, we are growing enough in US and Europe. You can import from us. And
Okay.
so they became import dependent. Right now, African food import is more than $50 billion per year. And this number may increase by 2030 to $100 billion per year.
Wow.
They are food import dependent, while the native food can be grown plenty.
Yeah.
It's a
Importing.
it's a dilemma.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, because it's not so easy to change your system suddenly.
Yeah. Well, they are now. I'm talking about from late 70s to early 80s when that transformation happened
Okay.
50 years ago, when they became addicted. I should use the word addicted.
Yeah.
Rice and wheat,
Yeah.
imported rice and wheat.
Yeah. Thank you for that example. That's
Why they
really important.
why weren't they growing rice? That's a very important question.
Hmm.
Compared to Asia, where all the villages were always built, settled on the shore of rivers or lakes
Hmm.
or ponds, uh, so that water was their source of irrigation and food and all that. In Africa, the villages were up on the hill, not next to the stream, for three reasons, and those were health related.
Hmm.
Arzia, that's river blindness, malaria, mosquitoes,
Okay.
and other waterborne diseases like guinea worm and others. They were all
Hmm.
waterborne. Even when I was working there and we wanted to grow rice paddy that nobody was growing before, we
Hmm.
stand in rice paddy field up to knee-high boots so that our skin doesn't get in touch with that water. And then malaria is a very serious problem. So
Hmm.
they were avoiding rice production and wetland because their climate was not conducive to growing it. It in fact causes more health issues. And
Would rice paddies attract mosquitoes and make malaria worse?
anywhere where water is standing on the land
Okay.
is attraction to. And here rice, where they were growing uh, upland crops like cassava, yam, or sorghum, millet, if you flood them to start growing rice or rice on the flood plains, um, then it will attract malaria. Worse is it will attract river blindness.
Mm.
and many
So
diseases.
Europeans, did they think, since they were always going to be sort of in control of African countries, that um, what mattered was their kind of
I,
their needs, their opinions on how to create the food system?
I don't think there was any intentional.
Okay.
No, there was no intention. In fact, some Europeans did a great work there, and
Hmm.
many of them did great. But it so happened that Africa began to imitate Europe.
Hmm.
They were eating rice and wheat. Why can't we eat rice and wheat? And eventually,
Well, and I imagine their school systems would have European
yeah,
storybooks,
stories, books, and yeah,
things set in England,
yeah,
that like there's African philosophers that talk about how
yeah.
you have to decolonize your mind, because if you grew up and a lot of your stories were about, like, set in a place that you don't really, has nothing to do with your actual surroundings, you start thinking you should emulate that, or like that's just a reference point, because story after story you're reading is set in this other place.
And I have been promoting the idea of alphabet book for children,
Uh-huh.
kindergarten and primary, grade
Uh-huh.
1, 2, 3, must be in their own language.
Yes.
Alphabets in Arabic, in Hindi, in Farsi, in Hausa, um, in Yoruba, and whatever their native language
Hmm.
is where their culture will develop.
Yes. Yes, I
Their,
love that idea.
their stories. I should send you a copy. I recently was telling this to people in India. Why come your alphabet books are not oriented on climate change, soil degradation, human health?
Oh yeah.
And they have recently published one with my name on it as a Baba.
Oh,
You know what Baba means?
fantastic. Father?
Grandfather.
Grandfather?
Yeah. So Baba Rattan said this.
Oh,
Each alphabet has that book. It's in
I
Hindi.
gotta see that.
I think we need to have alphabet books on different languages of Africa, Arabic, um, whatever native languages are, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, uh, not in French. That's right on the
Hmm.
English,
Hmm.
which you're right. They bring stories and other things from abroad.
Yeah, their own language should come first. I agree.
Yeah,
I think your own language should come first, whoever you are,
yeah,
so that you can connect to your ancestors and your community.
yeah,
And then also learn the language of power,
right. Yeah,
both.
yeah,
That secondarily,
right.
yeah, and same with culture. Learn the ways of the culture so that you can succeed and navigate through it.
The other
But
problem,
we're digressing.
yeah,
What can we learn from previous green revolutions? The innovations that came from Islamic civilizations, prior civilizations. What lessons can be learned from those technologies for today?
yeah, I think part lesson is there was integration of food crops
Hmm.
with trees and livestock.
Oh.
So it was not wheat, 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 corn, 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 soybean.
Hmm.
There was I grew up on a farm in villages and so forth in the 50s and 60s. And every farmer had, these are small farmers, 5 acre, 10 acre, 2 acre. Every farmer had a pair of bullocks to plow.
Hmm.
So they had 1 or 2 buffaloes for milk and 1 or 2 cows. I should tell you a story.
Uh-huh.
And it was to somebody from Egypt. And
Uh-huh.
he felt offended. His wife was there. And I was explaining then that when I grew up, we had a buffalo for milk.
Uh-huh.
I was explaining then that buffalo milk can be drank without boiling. because buffalo does not have
Oh,
susceptibility to tuberculosis. Cows are susceptible to tuberculosis. Human,
okay.
but buffalo is not. So I told them for breakfast, my father would be milking, and I would drink directly from the buffalo
Hmm.
before going, or he would milk in a cup glass.
Yeah.
I'll drink that. And
Hmm.
I was explaining them this is the tree, and he thought, look, my wife, he felt offended. I said, I'm just explaining you that buffaloes are part of our culture,
Yeah.
which the right
Water buffaloes or
water
you
buffalo.
mean water buffaloes?
They are docile, but they are for milk, not
Yes.
water buffalo are for pulling plow. No, we had water buffalo. You don't use them for pulling plow. They are for milk. And their milk was more than twice the quantity of a cow and more than three times the butter content. Butter content
Wow.
10% in buffalo milk, 2%, 3% in cow's milk.
Oh, well, that sounds delicious.
So every farmer had buffaloes.
Hmm.
Milk and for bringing up their children, uh, they would say,
I think also in the Middle East, I think anyway in Turkey, I think they also do water
yeah.
buffalo for
And
milk.
Italy has now. And
Yes.
you remember the buffalo which I grew up, it's called Haryana buffalo, not Haryana. It's called Murrah buffalo. And these are, Murrah is very tight horn.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil became a big exporter of milk and beef
Hmm.
because they adopted from India those buffaloes.
New Zealand?
They, they, they also told me in Brazil that if you harvest cow at 3 year and you harvest buffalo at 2 year, you can't tell
Hmm.
the difference between the beef of the two. They're the same,
Mm.
and they produce much more, and the quantity of amount. So Brazilian agriculture got revolutionized by two animals: the Murrah buffalo from India and Haryana cow from India. So all their cows are from Indian origin.
Wow.
I saw a farm of 8,000 cows or more than that, very huge farm, and how many
Wow.
they harvest in a month. And my immediate question was probably, and those are the cows that Indian culture worships them.
Oh, really?
And Brazil grow them for beef
Oh
and
my gosh.
for export.
And how, I mean, what are your thoughts on when one culture takes another culture's resource like that and then
I think
maybe,
I,
I
I,
don't know, does
I
it in a way the original culture wouldn't like?
it's okay. I think if they took the animals, that's a good part, and it is their prerogative to decide what they want to do with it.
Hmm.
I don't think I would have. I After I saw that, I did not want to tell. Did you know this is the same cow which we have as a holy cow in India? No, and that their prerogative. But they imported it because their climate was the same as India.
Hmm.
Couldn't bring the cows from North America or Western Europe because they wouldn't fit that climate.
Hmm.
So their agriculture became. They are the largest beef exporter of the world right now.
Wow.
And our beef is the same cow which is worshipped in India.
Wow.
It's called Haryana cow.
Haryana.
Haryana. No, Haryana. Haryana.
Would that offend religious people in India?
No, no, I don't think so. Um, well, nobody is going to find out. But because India doesn't import beef, and
Hmm.
beef is imported Europe and uh, African countries. India will not export that. India does export buffalo meat.
Oh, okay.
Buffalo is not a religious animal.
So, oh, okay. So that's interesting. So when there's a religious restriction,
That's
sometimes
cows.
people find a loophole. Yeah.
That's how cows. Yeah.
Okay.
Buffalo, there's no buffalo, goat, um,
Hmm.
sheep, pig.
I like to order goat at, there's a couple restaurants in town I like to order goat at, and one of them's Indian,
Right. Yeah.
maybe because
Most
goat's a more popular meat in India. There's
most
ways to
popular meat is goat meat.
prepare it.
Yeah. Goat meat is the most popular meat.
Hmm.
Not cow, but buffalo. Not buffalo is exported.
Yeah. So just
Killing.
for our audience, what would be like if you were just, hosting an event or maybe a party and Indian, people from India, and it's a very diverse country, but you didn't know too much about them. They're coming to your house. How would you deal with the decisions on the menu like that?
Yeah. I think most Indian menu, including my own home, is vegetarian.
Hmm.
And if it's a meat being consumed by any Punjabi family, it's
Hmm.
chicken, fish, or goat.
Fish or goat. Okay.
Chicken is very common. Roasted chicken, is shish kebab, or
Hmm.
goat meat, which is kebab, uh, and roasted, like on a fire. So they are common, or make curry out of it. So those are the common. But
Okay.
most of the people, like myself, those who are vegetarian,
Hmm.
meat is taboo.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. And you never know if someone might
Yeah,
really not want any kind of animal product.
yeah. This is
Um,
correct.
I usually make something like I usually make lentils because I like lentils personally.
Yeah,
And they have protein. You don't want to starve your guests.
yeah,
You want to serve something
yeah.
um, with
But
protein, right?
nutritionally, the best beans are urd bean, URD.
Oh, okay.
And they are exactly like green mung beans,
Okay.
but urd bean are black in color.
Okay.
And their protein quality is equal to or even better than quality of nutritional value of meat.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
Yeah, you
I'll
can
look for that.
look it up, urd bean.
I
And
will.
most Indian store will sell. They are very hard to cook, so you have to soak overnight and then have a
Hmm.
pressure cooker. But they also come as a dal where they're split up.
Hmm.
Prefer
Hmm.
whole um, this urd bean. And if you go to Indian restaurant, ask them that you are dal makhani. And
Yes.
makhani is
Yes.
urd. It's made
Oh,
from
it's made with urt. Okay.
it's urd made. Makhani is with butter. That's what all word mean.
Yeah, it's very filling. Yeah.
Very yeah. But you're right. These pulses they all cause gas, and therefore it's a good idea to eat them in moderation and
Hmm.
with some gas suppressing, what acidity suppressing, uh, what you call thumbs up or some gas. It's these tablets you chew once in a while. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, there's different herbs people use
Yeah.
that impact the level of gas it produces and things like that. So there's always options.
Right. I should say something about carbon, which you have a question on carbon and nitrogen. So we are talking about soil health and its effect on human health. A key component of soil health is its organic carbon content,
Okay.
which is humus. We call it humus. We were talking
Yes.
about Adam, and now we are talking about humus. And
Yes.
humus is a Hebrew word, again, related to Middle East. And
Hmm.
um, it's come from the word homo, human.
Hmm.
So humus and homo and human have the same origin.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
humus in soil is a life supporting entity. So you should have somewhere between 2.5% to 3.5% humus content in the root zone for a healthy soil and healthy crops and nutrient dense. But that humus, which has at 2.5 to 3.5%, it comes from putting manure back on the soil, dung of cattle or compost, and returning the crop residue on the land.
Hmm.
But poor farmers, what are they doing? They are desperate.
Hmm.
They take away grains for themselves and they take away residue for their cattle and then they
Hmm.
graze cattle on the residue. So the land is left with nothing.
Mm.
That desperateness has stolen from land its life giving capacity, which is humus. I know many soils in Africa and Asia where farmers follow what we call extractive farming, take away everything from land, don't put anything
Hmm.
back. Soil have an organic humus content of 0.1%, 0.2%.
Oh my gosh.
5% is too much. And then they get this idea if we can put some fertilizer, if the humus content is low,
Hmm.
the uptake of fertilizer is also low.
Mm.
So out of 100% fertilizer put in, only 25% may be absorbed by plant and
Oh,
goes into the environment, either water
wow.
or atmosphere. So fertilizer on a degraded soil becomes poison.
Oh my gosh.
In
Well,
America, what I mean by poison is it's leaked into the water. It can increase
uh,
concentration of nitrate in water, which is not very good for human
thank you
health.
for clarifying that. Yeah. Look, because it's not, the plants aren't able to take it without enough carbon in the soil.
Exactly,
Oh
exactly.
my gosh.
So you have to have, that is where carbon nitrogen ratio in soil should be about
Hmm. 10?
10, 10 carbon, 1 nitrogen. But when the carbon has gone down
Hmm.
and nitrogen is quite a lot, that ratio has been completely.
Oh, that's the
So,
ratio.
so now one other thing happens, that organic carbon in soil is the food of organisms in soil.
Yeah.
Earthworms, termites, centipedes, millipedes, microbes,
Hmm.
they all need food. So a healthy soil must have a lot of organisms in it. That
Oh,
is
so
why
when you're
they are living on.
gardening, you should be looking for lots of critters crawling around in the soil.
Exactly. If there are no critters, no earthworms, soil is
Yeah.
dead. And when soil is no organic matter content, which is the food for organism, they're already starving, and you put chemical, you kill whatever is left behind.
Mm.
So fertilizers are effective and good if the organic matter content is 2.5 to 3.5%.
Okay.
But
Got it.
that's not the case with poor farmers.
Do we know if past civilizations had that kind of percentage in their agriculture?
Going back to Kitab al-Falah of Middle East,
Yeah. Yeah.
he said very clearly, a good soil is dark colored soil.
Okay.
A light colored soil is a poor soil. And his saying in Arabic is, a wise man knows what a good soil is and what a bad soil is. From color.
Yeah. Because
That
I'm sure they were also tempted to steal from the soil even then. Yeah.
yeah, there were no fertilizers. So, but the advantage was population was very low.
True. Compared to now. Yeah.
India's population at the highest point in those time was 200 million. Now it is 8.2, not 8.2. Now it's a 1.2 billion people. India alone.
Yeah.
It will be 1.5 billion.
But you said we could feed that many. It's just that a
Yeah.
lot of our crops are depleted.
Well, that's an important point. We produce 3 billion tons of food, grain,
Okay.
rice, wheat, corn, chickpea, soybean, all the 3 billion. 1 billion out of 3 billion are wasted.
Oh,
That's correct.
that's
Even in the United States
immoral.
of America,
Yeah. Hmm.
they reach no stomach, human or animal. They are wasted. And the amount of wastage is 30 to 40%,
Hmm.
rich as well as poor country. The only difference is in poor country, the wastage happen from the farm to the home. And in rich country, it happens from grocery store to the home. Every
Just
home,
because people are buying
more
veggies or whatever, and they don't manage to prepare it all by the time
right. And
they
then
cook the
little
food.
change in color and so forth is thrown. So the food waste is a serious global problem.
Oh yeah.
So rather than saying let's produce more, no, let's use properly what we produce,
Yeah.
and the land from which the extra food which is wasted was produced should be returned back to nature.
Yeah. Makes sense to me. So would that be composting?
Well, I want to return land to grow back trees and
Oh yeah. I
and
see.
berries, and so
Yeah.
I think half of the land, if and the other part is China, India, other countries, as
Yeah.
they become rich, you know what they want to do? They want to have their diet like America.
Yeah.
No, no, your
Yeah.
diet is much better. Stick to it.
Don't make
And
don't make that mistake. Yeah.
so the animal diet, if people eat beef 2 times or 3 times, the amount of grains consumed by beef production could feed a lot more. If you have 1 acre of land and you grow grain crop on that acre, that
Hmm.
can only feed 5 or 6 human. And if you grow cattle, maybe it can produce only one calf, which can be eaten only at the most by one person. So if we, I'm not saying nobody should eat meat and nobody should, no, eat in moderation.
Hmm. Yeah.
From 3 times a day, cut down 3 times a week, and
Don't
don't
waste
waste
it.
it.
Yeah.
Then we can save half of the land now in agriculture,
Hmm.
5 billion hectare. In fact, it's 5.2 billion hectare.
And that makes me think about foraging because that's also been a way people have gotten a nice variety of foods in their diet is, natural
Yeah,
berries and fruits and all kinds of things
yeah,
that.
yeah. That now the diversity, the
Mhm.
diversity of food is very good for your health.
Yes.
And if the food
Yeah.
is only wheat, corn, and rice, and or beef, then not
Yeah.
the food. Uh,
Beef. I
we,
do love beef.
we,
I admit. But yeah, I don't need it need that much and because it's very rich. A little goes a long way. Same with dairy. Um, yeah, I think that's such a good concept.
yeah,
So we're making enough
I
for
think,
10 billion, but we're not so we should concentrate not on the volume of food,
yeah.
but on the way we're making the food.
So we have plant-based diet and animal-based diet. In general, plant-based diet is much better, but plant-based diet can cause some deficiency of micronutrients. So plant-based diet combined with fish or chicken, occasional,
Hmm.
once or twice a week,
Hmm.
is really the best option.
Yeah. Well, and I lived in Thailand for a while, and I shouldn't stray too far from the Middle East, but the Middle East also has similar things.
Yeah,
And they ferment fish broth,
yes,
and it concentrates down so it's salty
yeah,
and it's full of flavor and nutrients and actually a lot of protein, like
yeah, yeah.
more than nothing. Like it's definitely a source. So that gives a little bit of protein and all kinds of nutrients from the fish. So you're really making the food go farther,
Right,
adding more flavor.
right.
I mean, these traditional foodways are an important key to the solution, you
Yeah,
know. And I know in it, like the Romans also had a fish sauce that they did the same way. And
yeah,
so that would pertain to the, at least historically, to the Middle East. I'm trying to think if there's a fish sauce today. I would not be surprised.
yeah,
I would not be surprised.
yeah. So I think it's possible to save no food waste. Maybe
Yeah,
5% is acceptable, but 40%, 50 vegetables and fruit, 50 to 60%.
that's a shame.
That's a shame. You go to the market and there some apple that looks a little bit affected by insects and they toss it. That's nonsense.
Yeah,
That's not.
that's why. Yeah, because people want perfect. And like your story about taking milk directly from the cow too, I think you know, it's not a bad thing to be connected to your food sources, like to all the
Yeah,
distasteful, like for a modern person it's distasteful, but it's actually really it's like the we're not as involved.
yeah, right. That's very correct. Yeah, the
Yeah.
connecting people to land via
Hmm.
food, via diverse food, is a very, very important for human health and planet health. So while we are talking about diet for human health, we should really talk for diet for planetary health.
Yeah.
Planet. When you have grazing too many cattle, when you have too much land for rice and wheat and other, planet health is deteriorating. And eventually that will lead to poor health of the people living on it. So human diet for human health and planetary health is a very important education that should be taught in all medical colleges.
Yes.
But right
Yeah,
now, no,
there should be a whole curriculum on that. And with AI, maybe that's, you know, that's possible now to have um, more learning, you know, more tailored curriculum,
yeah.
you know.
Well, a
So
few
I hope
years
so.
ago, not few years ago, 24, I proposed that I will teach with the help of people from public health and veterinary college a course which talks about plant health, animal health, and human health.
Hmm.
And it was rejected by our academic affair committee.
Hmm.
Why you are a soil scientist? Why do you want to treat this class?
Hmm.
Well, because the plants grow in soil, that's why. But
Yeah.
it's never occurred to them that this was a very important interdisciplinary thing. And
Yeah.
I've been able to successfully implement this at many universities in the world, but not,
Fantastic.
but not at Ohio State.
Isn't that always the way? Well, I would love to see your curriculum. I am actually teaching younger kids through an after school program now.
Right? Yeah.
And we're talking about mainly we're focused on culture and foodways.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the idea is to just to broaden their horizons and to experience culture through food and to think about how value our values are transmitted through food, not only the way we make it, but at the meal with our families, with our community, and things like that.
We,
And I
we,
think that'd be a great thing to
we
include.
my research led to two things: how agriculture and soil affects climate,
Hmm.
how agriculture and soil affects human health through nutritional quality and so on. So I teach a class on soil physics, which is the basic, and then its
Hmm.
application to climate change. And I want
Hmm.
to have another class, application to human diet and human health, and I was denied to be able to teach that. And now
Oh, I'm disappointed, but you said it was at other universities.
some other university are teaching it now. Now,
Oh
again,
my gosh.
I started, I was in Tashkent, we started there. By the way, did I tell you I went to
Oh,
Tashkent,
Tashkent, that's in Uzbekistan?
Uzbekistan, and
Oh, do tell.
they invited me in April. last 25 April, and they
Okay.
named a laboratory after me. It's called Rattan Lal,
Congratulations. That's amazing.
and they also discussed the possibility of One Health to teach,
Uh-huh.
and I really enjoyed that visit, very much so. And I've been writing articles in Egyptian Journal of
Hmm.
Science,
Fantastic.
using some of so some of them are published. There were two last year, and
Okay.
I will when they are both published, I'll send you a copy.
Definitely send them to me. I would really appreciate it. And then for our viewers, Tashkent is in Central Asia in Uzbekistan, and it's connected to Middle Eastern history through history and the shared culture and language. And Yeah, definitely part of the Islamic Golden Age. During the Islamic Golden Age, there were people, Persian and Turkish speaking people talking to
Yeah,
Arabic speaking people in
yes,
Spain, where Al Andalus was. They were, of course, it was over the span of many years. They were, issuing uh, statements and things like that that would get passed along the trade routes, and just amazing intellectual history that Tashkent is a part of, even though it seems
yeah.
maybe not in the Middle East or not related. It's definitely ties into our region.
Mentioned Tashkent is on Silk Road,
Yes.
and Tashkent is probably about 1,000 miles from city of Lahore in Pakistan, or city of maybe less, and
Right.
um,
Very close.
very close.
Yeah.
And the Mughal Empire in India
Hmm.
had the largest emperor of the world of his time. His name was Akbar the Great.
Hmm.
Akbar's grandfather came from Uzbekistan.
Ah.
The reason I go there is I go to see the birthplace of the grandfather Akbar, whose name was Babur. And
Hmm.
Babur established the Mughal kingdom in Delhi. He started from Kabul, and from Kabul he collected his Uzbek army and Afghan army and attacked Delhi and
Hmm.
conquered the Hindu king and established the Mughal dynasty. And Akbar was the third emperor. And during his time, from Kabul to Sri Lanka,
Hmm.
the entire subcontinent, including Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and all those countries together,
Hmm.
was under one empire. And that happened second time in the history of Indian subcontinent. The first time was 600 BC
Hmm.
during the Buddhist era. And there was a king who was, his name was Ashoka. And King Ashoka conquered India all the way by war, by killing. And in one war, when he, after conquering, he found the queen who was fighting with her. She
Hmm.
died, she had been killed by his soldier, but she had a baby tied to her back, and the baby
Hmm.
was alive. And that is where he said, "Oh my gosh, what I'm doing." He became a Buddhist monk
Oh, wow.
because he started going to village by village, wearing the yellow robes and barefoot and promoting ahimsa, no killing,
No harm.
no harm.
Do no harm.
And he brought all the way from Afghanistan to Lanka and Nepal under one empire. And second time it happened was during Akbar. And the third time it happened was British.
That's remarkable. Wow.
So basically, the entire region from part of it, Iran, I should mention to you, you know what the word Iran means?
Mm-mm.
Aryan.
Mm.
The India's, Pakistan, Afghanistan,
Yes.
they are Aryan, Aryan. That is where Hitler borrowed the Aryan
Yes.
nation, the supreme race. And
Yes.
Aryan nation symbol is swastika.
Right.
So Hitler borrowed both of those.
But for the original culture, it didn't have the same meaning as it did for him.
He twisted the meaning.
Yeah.
So, for example, my marriage and every, all of our religious ceremony are done on
Hmm.
swastika.
Hmm.
These Aryans were fire worshipper. So they'll put swastika sign and then light a fire with
Hmm.
ghee, pouring ghee on it, so it will have a fragrance. And that was the religious ceremony. So Aryan of Iran became Islamic.
Mm.
Aryan of Afghanistan became Islamic.
Right.
Aryans of Pakistan and part of India became Islamic. But
Hmm.
original Aryan culture is what I mentioned you, which had that Sanskrit scripture of one.
Mm. Hmm.
So all these countries, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh,
Hmm.
Northwest India, had the Aryan culture.
And was that the culture that the Avesta came from?
That is the. It is possible because the Aryan culture came from Caucasus and Greece. So they had three branches when they were migrating south
Hmm.
of Caucasus area. One went to Greece, so they're the same culture.
Yeah.
One to Iran, and one went to Indus Valley. And that was about,
Ah.
so the language and worshipping of fire of
Hmm.
all these three cultures were the same. They spoke Sanskrit. The largest Buddhist temples and statues, you know where they were? Afghanistan.
Iran? Oh,
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan? Okay.
And they were
Wow.
demolished by Taliban.
Uh,
This was
yeah.
this was all under one culture, the entire area. So Iranians are actually and Afghan are actually cousins of northwestern India.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Aryan.
I can feel that somehow. Yeah. Um, and that's very interesting, the Greek connection too.
It is
Um,
Greek
yeah.
during Alexander time. Alexander the Great came to Punjab
Hmm.
and he defeated the king, but he was injured himself. And his soldier captured the king and they brought him to the injured Alexander. And Alexander asked him, "How should I deal with you?" He said,
Hmm.
"For a king, I am king. So let's behave how one king behaves to other." That's the phrase, how one
Hmm.
king should treat the other king. So they became very good friends. So
Hmm.
due to that friendness, there was an exchange of scholars from Greek to India and vice versa.
Hmm. Mm.
So some of the famous scholars of during Alexander time, they actually came to India after he left. And so one of the things which happened was they brought medical knowledge from Greek to India and vice versa.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe the only country outside Greek where you can get a degree in Greek medicine now. E-
Nowadays.
Nowadays, even now, they have. It has been always the case.
Hmm.
And so there are two types of medicine traditionally in India, from Greek medicine and Ayurvedic medicine.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or Greek. So you could get a degree in Ayurvedic medicine and practice, and you get a degree in Unani. It's called Yunan. It's
Yunnan, yeah, in Arabic too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like Misha and
And there's also there's a lot of connections to the Middle East and the Mediterranean in India. Like there's in Kerala, aren't there? Isn't there a large Christian population? And
the
there's
the first place. The Christianity in Kerala came much earlier than Christianity in Europe.
wow.
Saint Thomas, one of the saint, is buried in Kerala, and most Keralites are have a name Thomas in them. But
Hmm.
the culture of our religion, so these lines which have been drawn, political line, It's very sad.
Yeah.
Very, very sad. And now,
Divisions.
of course, we are thinking about bombing Iran. That's even more.
Oh, I am praying that we don't.
I hope so. I hope nobody does.
Yeah, I hope all the killing stops and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this has to stop. Now
Yeah.
he's demanding be given Nobel Peace Prize while people are being killed.
Yeah.
Whether it's Venezuela or Iran or other places.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's very anyway. We are getting into politics, which is not the idea. But I think the
Well, it's hard not to these days, but
cultural
that's why we're educators, right? We can
yeah,
provide a place for people to just learn and
yeah.
come to their own political decisions.
I think we can win like Ashoka. He
Yeah.
changed from a big warrior killing people to a monk.
Yeah. Yeah.
He conquered the entire continent being a monk.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Didn't he also bring a lot of I feel like I saw something about Aramaic script and Ashoka. There's some
Yeah, yeah.
inscription about Ashoka in Aramaic. There's a lot of people moved a lot during those times.
Uh,
Like they didn't have airplanes, but they still really,
Ashoka sent his monks um, everywhere
yeah.
in Sanskrit. Now, what I'm saying, you don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it.
Okay.
I'm told that the Mecca was originally a Buddhist shrine.
Well,
At that
what
time,
date so that would
1000,
be more like
1000
6,000,
AD,
1,000.
and Buddha was 600 BC, and
Yeah.
they had actually swept in the entire region. And there is a belief that if you go look at the Mecca inside, there are certain part of walls which are not depicted, and it is possible there are Sanskrit shrines, Sanskrit scriptures, writing that
It's
cannot be.
possible. I mean, we do know it was a pilgrimage spot for a
It,
long time
the,
before
what they did,
Islam even existed.
the
Yeah. It was
Buddha,
already a pilgrimage spot
it
when
was
the Quran, yeah.
it was captured and defeated, and this Buddha statue was cut and thrown out, and one of the piece of that is what you got, the black stone.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I haven't heard that one.
Oh, it is. But off the record, somebody say what he's talking about. This is correct. So rather than saying the different religions are so different, we should
Mhm.
talk about it's an evolution.
Yes.
Historical, changing from one to another. It doesn't mean the original was bad and the newer is better. No, it's a continuum.
Yeah. Um, there's so many similarities, or I guess a better way to say it, or truths
Right.
that come through in different ways in the different religions.
Well,
So
this has been a great discussion, but I have my staff.
are we out of time? Oh dear. Yeah, we're over time. I apologize.
I got to go.
Okay.
Thanks so
All
much.
right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
So-
Have a great meeting.
Okay.
Bye bye.